This is Luke from Emo Electric. It's finally starting to feel like spring on Long Island. We've had a couple customers reach out to us with questions about getting their Spirit ready for the season. So we wanted to make this video, run through some things that you should check in the spring before you go to use your motor for the first time, and help you solve some issues before they might arise. So the first thing you'll want to do when you're getting ready to use your Spirit for the first time in the spring, and by the way, this applies to the Spirit Evo and 1.0 Plus, is charge your battery, right? So over the winter, if the battery hasn't been used in a while, it'll go into a deep sleep mode. And the only way to wake it up is by plugging it into the charger. So if you just plug your power cable in, the battery's in deep sleep mode, nothing will happen. So plug it in, charge your battery up a little bit, make sure that your battery isn't low, and that should wake it up, help it get ready for the season. The next thing you'll do is check your contacts. So the most common issue we see with these motors is corrosion on these pins or on the battery side. Also worth checking your charge port, but issues with that are less common. So if you can see these all right, see that they look good, there's no sign of corrosion, and that's because we do a good job keeping up with the contacts on our demo motor. If there is corrosion, any signs on here or on the battery side, you want to try and work that corrosion off. You have to be careful because these pins are quite small, but a toothbrush and a little bit of contact cleaner to try and work that corrosion off and get those contacts looking like new. ePropulsion recommends once a month in season a little bit of WD-40 on these contacts. You can also use a very small amount of dielectric grease. And the idea is not to put so much in that it can't make the connection properly, but a little bit of dielectric grease on those pins will help prevent corrosion. And again, very small amount. Plug it in and out of the battery a couple times, and you should be good to go. So that pretty much covers everything with the battery. Another thing worth checking are your anodes. So these are sacrificial zinc anodes that are on the motor and the bracket that are designed to corrode before the motor starts to corrode. So there's a number of anodes. There's one on the propeller right there. And then if we lift our motor up, be able to see the other ones a little bit more easily. You can see there's another one right down here. And then there's also two more in the bracket there. And we actually forgot about one that's on the pod right here, just in front of the prop. So this is a good one to take a look at. We can see there's a little bit of corrosion on it, but this anode's actually all right. I'm not going to change this out for the season. There's no real pitting, right? Maybe a little bit of this is worn away, but it's not in bad shape. If there was more pitting, so like little holes in the zinc, then it would be time to change those out. We sell those in kits in our online store, so you don't have to go and buy one, buy the other. You're better off just swapping all of them out. When you do one, just need a couple Allen keys, only take you about 10 minutes or so, and we'll link those in our online store. So another thing worth checking is the tiller. What we find, sometimes these loosen up a little bit. This one is not, it's nice and tight. But if you look under here, you can see there's a couple screws. So just making sure that these are tight, especially if your tiller handle is loose. And if you can't feel neutral, right, you should be able to feel when the tiller gets to neutral. It probably means that these two screws on that green plate need to get tightened up a little bit. Finally, you want to test it out, make sure it works. So we're going to put our kill switch on, which of course we had off when we were messing around down near the prop. We're going to plug our motor into our battery. We're going to power it on. Wait a second for everything to pop up. See, we have 94%. And then we're going to make sure that the prop is clear. It's not going to hit anything. We're just going to put it into forward, bring it back to neutral, put it into reverse, back to neutral, and we can see that everything's working fine. You don't want to leave the motor running when it's not submerged for an extended period of time, but a couple seconds like we just did is fine. It won't overheat nearly that quickly. One thing you might run into is an E30 error. Of the errors that display on the screen, the E30 is probably one of the more common ones. And it just means that your tiller needs to be recalibrated. It senses where the tiller is, right? So as you turn it, we go faster. And for whatever reason, sometimes that needs to be recalibrated. The instructions on how to do so are in your user manual. We'll link that in the description below. But essentially, you hold one of the buttons here, press a button with this in neutral, turn it all the way to forward, press another button, turn it all the way to reverse, press another button, and that's about it. So it only takes a couple seconds. With that in mind, it's a good idea to save that user manual to your phone or have a hard copy of it on your boat. If you do get an error message, the first thing to do is to look into that user manual and see what the solution is. Right? We had a customer a couple of years ago who was out on his dinghy. He got that calibration error and he didn't know what to do. He didn't have the user manual and he called us and we walked him through it. But in case we're not available to pick up the phone, if you have that user manual, you can take a look at it. You might be able to fix it yourself in just a couple minutes. And then of course, if you can't, feel free to reach out to us. So that just about does it. That's pretty much all you need to run through on your motor, other than just, obvious signs of wear, making sure that these locking knobs aren't getting corroded. A little WD-40 on there can be a good idea. Look over the motor, common sense stuff, make sure everything looks good. But those are the main things that we recommend looking for. If you do need any spare parts for your motor, like a bag set, spare prop, we highly recommend having. We just got in some new lock sets that allow you to lock the motor to the boat and the battery to the motor. Anything like that, feel free to reach out to us, leave a comment below, or head over to our online store. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe. Helps us make these videos. And we hope you enjoy your time on the water with the ePropulsion Spirit this year.